The story of the €2 Air 2007 coin often circulates online wrapped in mystery, excitement, and claims of overnight riches. But the real fascination lies in how rare coins can dramatically change lives under the right conditions. Coins are more than spare change. They are historical artifacts, miniature records of political moments, cultural identity, and minting decisions that sometimes result in extraordinary value. While not every euro coin is worth millions, certain limited issues, minting errors, or historically significant releases have sold for astonishing prices, creating the belief that hidden treasure could be sitting unnoticed in everyday pockets across Europe and beyond. The €2 Air coins, especially those issued by Ireland, attract attention because Ireland uses a single national design featuring the Celtic harp, symbolizing heritage and sovereignty. Collectors carefully examine coins from specific years, such as 2007, searching for unusual mint marks, striking anomalies, or limited production batches. What transforms an ordinary coin into a life-changing asset is not the denomination, but rarity combined with demand. Coins that were mistruck, released in extremely low numbers, or connected to significant historical anniversaries can fetch prices that seem unbelievable to the average person, fueling viral stories of instant wealth. Across the world of numismatics, there are documented cases where coins have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, but these are exceptions, not guarantees. The myth of every rare euro coin being worth millions spreads because it captures imagination and hope. However, the real market is driven by expert grading, authentication, provenance, and collector demand. A coin's condition alone, whether it is circulated, uncirculated, or proof, can mean the difference between a few euros and a life-altering sum. This is why serious collectors treat coins like fine art rather than loose change. Emotion plays a powerful role in the appeal of rare coin stories. The idea that something small, overlooked, and ordinary could secretly hold unimaginable value resonates deeply in a world where financial freedom feels increasingly distant. That emotional pull is why people rush to check old piggy banks, inherited collections, and forgotten jars of coins after hearing such stories. While most won't uncover a million-dollar rarity, some do discover coins worth far more than face value, sometimes enough to pay debts, fund education, or start a new chapter in life. Euro coins are especially interesting because the currency is relatively young, yet already rich with collectible varieties. Commemorative €2 coins issued for anniversaries, cultural milestones, and historic figures often gain value over time, particularly when minted in small quantities by countries like Monaco, Vatican City, San Marino, or certain early Eurozone releases. These coins demonstrate how modern currency can still become highly valuable, challenging the assumption that only ancient coins or gold pieces matter in collecting. The key lesson for anyone holding euro coins is not panic or blind belief, but awareness. Spending rare coins unknowingly can mean losing something genuinely valuable, even if it's not worth millions. Checking dates, minting countries, edge inscriptions, and unusual features can be the difference between ordinary change and a meaningful discovery. Many collectors began their journey accidentally, sparked by curiosity after hearing stories just like this one, and later developed expertise that allowed them to recognize true rarity. What truly changes fortunes is not luck alone, but knowledge combined with timing. The coin market, like any other, rises and falls based on trends, collector interest, and historical relevance. Coins once dismissed as common have later surged in value as supply disappeared and demand increased. This long-term potential is what makes numismatics so captivating. Wealth doesn't always arrive instantly, but sometimes grows quietly from something as simple as a forgotten coin. So when you hear stories about euro coins being worth millions, let them inspire curiosity rather than blind expectation. Take the time to learn, research, and verify before dismissing or spending any unusual coin. Even if you don't find a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, you may uncover a deeper appreciation for history, value, and the hidden stories carried in everyday objects. In a world driven by speed and consumption, sometimes fortune hides in patience, and in the smallest details we almost overlook. The España Cervantes 50-euro-cent coin has become one of the most talked about pieces in viral coin lore, capturing attention with stories of unimaginable wealth hidden in everyday change. Featuring Miguel de Cervantes, the literary giant behind Don Quixote, this coin symbolizes not just Spain's cultural heritage but also the dream that a simple, overlooked object could transform an ordinary life overnight. Across social media and collector circles, whispers of astronomical valuations, figures reaching into the millions, have turned this humble 50-cent coin into a modern legend that fuels curiosity, hope, and relentless searching through old coin jars. What makes the Cervantes euro cent so emotionally powerful is the contrast between its face value and the stories attached to it. A coin meant for a vending machine or parking meter is suddenly framed as a ticket to fortune, and that psychological shift is irresistible. The belief centers on extremely rare variants, misstrikes, limited test mintings, or coins with unique markings that were never meant to enter circulation. In the world of coin collecting, these anomalies are where value explodes, and even the smallest difference can separate an ordinary coin from a collector's holy grail. Spain's euro coins are already popular among collectors because of their artistic design and historical figures, and Cervantes carries exceptional symbolic weight. When combined with rumors of bicentennial relevance, mint errors, or special royal marks, the narrative grows even stronger. Stories circulate of collectors paying staggering sums for ultra-rare euro coins, reinforcing the idea that somewhere, someone unknowingly holds a piece worth millions. This sense of possibility keeps people searching drawers, piggy banks, inherited collections, and forgotten purses with renewed intensity. The viral appeal isn't just about money, it's about hope. In a world where financial breakthroughs often feel out of reach, the idea that destiny could be hiding in loose change is deeply comforting. It suggests that wealth doesn't always belong to insiders or elites. Sometimes it waits silently for the observant and the curious. That emotional pull is why warnings like, "Don't spend your euro coins at any cost," spread so rapidly. Even skeptics pause before handing over change, just in case. Collectors know that condition is everything. A coin preserved in near-perfect state, untouched by circulation, can be exponentially more valuable than one that has passed through thousands of hands. Professional grading, authentication, and documented provenance are what ultimately decide whether a coin is a minor collectible or a market-shaking discovery. While most Cervantes 50-cent coins are common, the market is driven by extremes, and it is those extremes that fuel stories of overnight billionaires. The euro, despite being a modern currency, has already produced some of the most valuable contemporary coins in history. Limited issues from small states, accidental releases, and politically significant mintings have proven that age alone does not define value. This is why the Cervantes coin narrative resonates so strongly, because modern money has already defied expectations before. Each new story reinforces the belief that another extraordinary discovery is still waiting to be made. For high-engagement audiences, the message is simple but powerful. Awareness is everything. You don't need to be a professional numismatist to recognize that something might be special. Checking dates, symbols, mint marks, and unusual features can open the door to deeper research. Even if the coin doesn't lead to millions, it could still be worth far more than its face value, and that alone makes the search worthwhile. Ultimately, the legend of the España Cervantes 50 euro cent endures because it blends history, mystery, and the universal desire for transformation. Whether or not one ever uncovers a coin worth millions, the act of looking changes how people see the ordinary objects around them. Sometimes the real value isn't just in the coin itself, but in the possibility it represents, the idea that life-changing fortune can be closer than we ever imagined, quietly waiting in the palm of our hand. Next, the 50 euro cent 2004 F mint coin has ignited intense curiosity across collectors and casual viewers alike, fueled by claims that an ordinary-looking coin could be worth almost $18 million in today's market. At first glance, it appears no different from the loose change people casually spend every day, yet this is exactly what makes the story so powerful. The idea that unimaginable wealth could be hiding in something so small and overlooked taps directly into human emotion, hope, surprise, and the dream of instant transformation. One coin, one moment of awareness, and an entirely new life seems possible. What elevates the 2004 F mint euro cent into legend is its association with extreme rarity and mystery. Coins bearing specific mint marks, especially those tied to limited production runs, experimental strikes, or unexpected circulation releases, are where collectors believe fortunes are born. The F mark, often linked to select European mints, has become a symbol of possibility. Whether through a minting anomaly, an ultra-low surviving quantity, or historical circumstances surrounding its release, this coin is portrayed as the kind of discovery that rewrites personal history overnight. Emotionally, these stories spread so fast because they challenge what we think we know about money. A 50-cent coin is meant to be insignificant, disposable, forgettable. Turning that expectation upside down creates shock and fascination. It makes people stop mid-transaction and wonder if they're about to give away something priceless. That moment of hesitation, when someone decides not to spend a coin but to look closer, is where the magic of these narratives lives, and why phrases like, "Don't spend your euro coins at any cost" resonate so strongly. The year 2004 itself adds fuel to the excitement. Early Euro-era coins are already special because they mark the formative years of a shared European currency. Coins from this period are closely examined for differences in design, minting quality, and distribution patterns. When paired with a specific mint mark, the coin becomes more than currency. It becomes a snapshot of a unique moment in monetary history. Collectors chase these moments relentlessly, and when supply is nearly non-existent, prices can skyrocket beyond imagination. Stories of people discovering rare coins in old piggy banks, inherited collections, or forgotten drawers keep the dream alive. These narratives are powerful because they feel accessible. You don't need to be wealthy, educated in finance, or connected to elite circles. Just curious enough to check what you already have. That accessibility is why millions of people feel personally involved. Every jar of coins suddenly becomes a treasure chest, every handful of change a potential turning point. Condition and preservation are often portrayed as the silent gatekeepers of fortune. A coin that escaped circulation, untouched and nearly flawless, is where value multiplies. In these high-stakes stories, professional grading and authentication transform a simple coin into a certified asset, sometimes compared to rare art or historic manuscripts. This transformation, from pocket change to museum-worthy artifact, is what fuels claims of multimillion-dollar valuations and keeps audiences captivated. The euro coin market has already proven that modern coins can reach astonishing prices under the right conditions. Limited issues, errors, and special mintings from small or specific mints have shattered expectations before, making the idea of an $18 million euro coin feel just believable enough to chase. That thin line between myth and possibility is what drives engagement, speculation, and endless searching across households worldwide. Ultimately, the legend of the 50-euro-cent 2004 F is not just about the coin, it's about what it represents. It embodies the hope that life-changing wealth doesn't always announce itself loudly, that it might sit quietly among ordinary things, waiting for someone to notice. Whether the fortune is real or rare beyond reach, the act of checking changes how people see their world. Sometimes the greatest value lies in the belief that extraordinary things can come from the most unexpected places. Next euro coin. The 20-euro-cent 2000 RF coin has become one of the most electrifying legends in the world of modern coin collecting, surrounded by claims of values reaching nearly $20 million in today's market. Marked with RF and associated engraver initials such as L, Jorio and DAPO, Rodi, this coin is often described as a silent miracle hiding in plain sight. To the untrained eye, it looks like ordinary pocket change, but to believers and collectors, it represents the ultimate dream, that unimaginable wealth could be resting unnoticed in everyday life, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. What fuels the obsession around this coin is its connection to the very beginning of the euro era. The year 2000 holds immense symbolic importance, representing the transition toward a unified European currency system. Coins from this period are intensely scrutinized because early minting phases are where anomalies, test strikes, and ultra-limited releases are most likely to occur. When a coin carries specific marks like RF, combined with engraver references tied to French minting history, the narrative transforms it from currency into legend, sparking endless speculation and emotional fascination. The emotional power of this story lies in contrast. A 20-cent coin is something people spend without a second thought, yet the idea that it could change your life overnight completely rewires how people view money. Suddenly, every coin feels important. Every transaction becomes a moment of hesitation. The warning, "Don't spend your euro coins at any cost," hits deeply because no one wants to be the person who unknowingly gave away a fortune. This fear of missing out is a massive driver of engagement and why such stories spread so quickly across platforms. The inclusion of engraver names and initials adds an almost mythical quality. In numismatics, engravers matter. Their work connects coins to artistic heritage, national identity, and historical. Craftsmanship. When people hear names associated with renowned minting traditions, they imagine limited dies, experimental strikes, and coins never meant for public circulation. These details create a sense of exclusivity, making the coin feel like a mistake of history, something not everyone was meant to have, but a few lucky individuals might. Stories of sudden discovery keep the dream alive. People claim to have found rare euro coins in old piggy banks, inherited jars, forgotten wallets, or dusty drawers untouched for decades. These stories resonate because they feel achievable. You don't need special access or insider knowledge, just awareness. That feeling turns millions of ordinary viewers into active participants, checking their coins late at night, comparing markings, and imagining how their life would change if the discovery were real. Condition becomes the silent hero of these narratives. A coin preserved in near-perfect state is portrayed as the gateway to extreme value. The transformation from loose change to a professionally graded, authenticated artifact is often described as the moment when reality shifts. Once certified, the coin is no longer money. It becomes an asset, a historical object, something collectors compete fiercely to own. This dramatic elevation is what makes claims of multimillion-dollar values feel emotionally believable. The euro coin market itself strengthens these beliefs. Modern coins have already shattered expectations, with certain limited issues selling for staggering amounts due to scarcity and demand. That precedent makes the idea of a $20 million euro coin feel just possible enough to chase. Even skeptics hesitate, because history has proven that value doesn't always follow logic. It follows rarity, story, and desire. Ultimately, the legend of the 20 2000 RF coin is about more than money. It represents hope, curiosity, and the belief that life-changing fortune doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it hides quietly among ordinary things, waiting to be noticed. Whether or not the coin delivers unimaginable wealth, it changes how people look at the smallest details in their lives. And in that moment of awareness, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the dream of transformation feels closer than ever. The €2 España M Crown 1999 coin stands at the center of one of the most explosive legends in modern coin history, with stories claiming values approaching $200 million in today's market. What makes this narrative so powerful is the sheer disbelief it creates. A single coin, casually mistaken for everyday change, suddenly reframed as an object capable of turning an ordinary person into a billionaire overnight. The shock factor alone commands attention, but it's the promise of transformation that truly hooks audiences and keeps this story endlessly shareable. The year 1999 holds extraordinary symbolic weight in the euro world. It represents the birth era of the euro, a historic transition that reshaped European finance forever. Coins associated with this period are viewed as foundational artifacts, especially when paired with national identity markers like España, royal symbols such as the crown, M crown, and rare mint indicators. In high-engagement storytelling, this combination is portrayed as the perfect storm: history, royalty, and rarity converging into a single, almost mythical object. Emotionally, the appeal is irresistible. A €2 coin is something people handle without thought, yet the idea that it could hold unimaginable wealth forces a complete mental shift. Every clink of coins suddenly sounds different. Every transaction feels risky. The warning not to spend euro coins at any cost strikes deep because it taps into a universal fear. What if you unknowingly gave away your destiny? That fear fuels curiosity, hesitation, and an almost obsessive desire to double-check every coin in reach. The presence of a crown symbol elevates the narrative even further. Royal associations imply authority, exclusivity, and limited access, qualities that collectors crave. In viral storytelling, this symbol is often framed as proof of a special strike, an experimental release, or a coin never meant for mass circulation. Whether rooted in fact or legend, the imagery alone is enough to convince people that this coin is different, special, and potentially priceless. Stories of discovery keep the fantasy alive and deeply personal. People imagine finding the coin in an old piggy bank, a forgotten wallet, a family inheritance, or a dusty drawer untouched for decades. These scenarios are powerful because they feel achievable. You don't need wealth, education, or connections, just awareness and luck. That accessibility transforms passive viewers into active participants, checking coins late at night with racing hearts. Condition is portrayed as the gateway between ordinary and extraordinary. A pristine, untouched coin is where values are said to explode. Once authenticated and professionally graded, The coin's identity shifts completely. It's no longer money, but a historical artifact, a once-in-a-generation asset. This dramatic transformation is what makes claims of nine-figure valuations feel emotionally believable, even when they defy everyday logic. Modern coin history reinforces the dream. The euro, despite its young age, has already produced coins worth staggering sums due to rarity, errors, and limited issues. These real precedents give just enough credibility to extraordinary claims, blurring the line between myth and possibility. That uncertainty is essential for engagement. It keeps people wondering, debating, sharing, and searching. Ultimately, the legend of the €2 España M Crown 1999 coin isn't just about money, it's about hope. It represents the belief that life-changing fortune can hide in plain sight, silently waiting for the moment someone pays attention. Whether the wealth is real or impossibly rare, the story changes behavior, perception, and imagination. And that is why these coins are never just coins. They are symbols of possibility, destiny, and the dream that everything can change in an instant.